Hello and welcome to the M.A.C. weather page for this Monday, June 27th, 2016. And the big story is certainly the lack of rainfall. We picked up a little bit across the area yesterday, but we expect very little in the way of rainfall. We got a couple of very small opportunities, maybe late today or tonight, and then again as we get towards Thursday, Wednesday night, Thursday. But again, right now, these are going to be very widely scattered and not nearly enough to do any good. But we're in some serious hurt here for rain. If we look at the area, you can see temperatures this morning quite warm in the 60s. A couple of stations down right now, Middleton and Henderson, both their weather computers are off, so hopefully we can get those guys to turn those on this morning. But you can see temperatures pretty mild out there, and we'll have another warm day today with highs well into the 80s. And then a secondary cold front will come through, and again, that's what could touch off a few showers here late today and tonight. But again, we're talking about a 20% chance, and then later this week, maybe a 30–40% chance as we get into Thursday as another cold front comes through, and that'll continue the cool air in here through most of this weekend and next week. We're going to average below normal. You can see now we're up to 4 90-degree days here in Breckenridge so far for the season. If we look at the next shot, you can see across the Great Lakes, primarily 60s across much of the state and even some low 70s. So a very warm start to the day. And again, we'll have a pretty warm day today with highs at least in the mid to upper 80s in many locations. As far as our normals, the normal high is 82, our normal low is 58. And you can see yesterday we had a high of 85, a low of 69, and a whopping 2/100ths of an inch of precipitation here in the Breckenridge area. And we had about 17/100ths of evapotranspiration. If we look at the next shot, this is on the way to Clare to Camp Rotary, taking my son who works up there for the summer up there. And we hit rain as we got towards Shepherd at the overpass. And from there all the way up to Clare, it rained pretty hard at times. Many areas there picking up between 1,500 to as much as a third of an inch of rain. And farther to the northwest of that, you get some areas picked up a ½ inch to an inch. So there were some pretty good rains once you get over towards Newaygo up towards Cadillac in that area. But again, for the M.A.C. area, we really are hurting for rain here. And if we look at the soil conditions, you can see very, very dry out there. Warm temperatures, so anything that has moisture is certainly growing. But again, the overall lack of rainfall is certainly the big story. If we look at the weather map for this morning, you can see the cold front that passed through the area yesterday that brought some of those thin lines of thunderstorms through the area, mainly rain actually, not a whole lot of in the way of thunder. And then you can see the secondary cold front that'll be coming through late today into tonight. And again, out ahead of another warm day. And just the very slightest chance of an isolated shower here and there, mainly from around mid-Michigan off towards the north into northern lower Michigan back into the UP. But once that front goes through, we're going to be high and dry until we get into Thursday when then yet another cold front will come through. And these series of cold fronts are going to keep temperatures mainly in the 70s by day, 50s at night, here right on through the middle of next week before perhaps we begin to warm up towards late next week. And then that would be our opportunity. We might see some more in the way of active weather. But again, for the next 7 to 10 days, it looks very dry across much of the state. If we look at the forecast map for tomorrow, you can see that secondary cold front through the area. And again, as we get into Wednesday, high pressure system dominating the area. Wednesday morning will be a pretty chilly morning with lows possibly even getting into the upper 40s in some areas. And then mainly, again, 70s throughout the day and then through the weekend as well. And if we look at the next shot, you can see how much rainfall fell yesterday. You can see once you get towards Newaygo, back up towards Big Rapids, up towards Cadillac, pretty decent amount of rainfall, ½ inch to an inch, very common there. And also down across the extreme southern part of the state. Now, Blissfield and Jasper, not that much, maybe a couple of tenths in some areas. But you can see for much of the M.A.C. area here across lower Michigan, very little rainfall, in some areas not any at all. So again, hopefully we can get some more rain coming, but right now it just does not look good at all. If we look at the forecasted amounts from the GFS, this is over the next 10 days, not 7 days. And you can see there are spots where they're not even predicting any rain, but most of the M.A.C. area would be under ¼ of an inch over the next 10 days. That's just not going to cut it. And if we look at the WPC's forecast, even they're forecasting maybe a tenth to ¼ of an inch across much of the M.A.C. area or into southern or southwest Ontario. But again, it's not looking real good for any precipitation here in the near and medium term. We'll have to look probably towards late next week before we might see our chances increase a little bit. Until then, it's just, again, it's going to be quite dry, and we're going to be on the cool side, running about 4 to 8 degrees below normal through the middle of next week. Then I think we warm up in the 8 to 14 day outlook, and you can see below normal precipitation expected through the next 6 to 10 days, beginning midweek and lasting into the middle of next week. Thanks for stopping by, and have a great day. Do a rain dance, and 73s to all.